One of the frustrating things about the way I make these videos off the cuff in this way where just like riff is that half the time I watch a video I'm like, fuck, I really should have said this other thing. And so I'll just make this its own video. Excuse me. I'm just finishing my morning Red Bull. I wanted to talk about the roadblock that you could run into with gratitude. And this one might not be totally obvious unless you hear somebody say it. So I want to say it. If you find yourself really having a hard time doing that, like enjoying something and being aware of the enjoyment of something, or acknowledging that something in your life is good, you might want to ask yourself, like, did I have different role models? Like, did I have role models that really kind of told me not to do this, or modeled the way not to do this? Like, don't ever acknowledge that something is good or it'll be taken away from you. Or just people that were unemotional or even worse, like ridiculed you for doing something like this, for acknowledging gratefully something that you loved, you know, or if you were ever made fun of for this kind of thing or worse. I thank God for my parents. I have gratitude for my parents, that they didn't do a lot of this stuff. It's to the point where I can't believe some of the stuff I hear about other people's parents sometimes, and I'm really not in touch with that. So this is worth bringing up. If you had a parent or sibling or friends or anybody who completely just like beat this out of you, if you think about anything having to do with this gratitude area where you acknowledge that something you have is good, and you allow yourself to feel the good feelings that go along with that, which is what gratitude is. It's not thank you, thank you, thank you necessarily. It's just that feeling. I can feel it right now talking about it. It's just that feeling of that, sort of an acknowledgement of the beauty that is part of life, you know. If you didn't see that modeled, or it was sort of intentionally beaten out of you through being ridiculed or just even some comments, some disapproving comments, you might find it really hard to even understand what it is to feel that way. You know, you might not even do that sitting alone by yourself. This might just be something that's kind of all blocked up, and that's an important thing to understand, that could even be happening. I'm not sure if I can tell you how to fix that even, you know, but just to understand that that's there is a good first step, because then you can just use the process of manifesting to manifest your way out of it. It's beautiful. You can just acknowledge what it is. I really have a problem enjoying the things that I have. It's, you know, this is one of those things where I think people can lapse into, I'm just a shitty person. You know, this comes out in so many ways. If you're like, God, why can't I just enjoy the things I have? Why do I never feel good about anything I have? Why do I never feel grateful? You know, why is it that I'm always just like, on to the next thing? God, I'm just a shitty person. You know, I'm just not, you know, good people can feel this way, so I must, you know, that can really be in there operating you. And it's really actually not you. It's not that you're not good. It's not that you weren't naturally born that way. You almost certainly were. When you're in that state, it's just because at some point you got a message that you shouldn't do that it's bad to do that. It's really pretty simple. So, you know, you can intend your way out of that. It's a very clear, defined thing. If you aren't enjoying anything in your life, it's a very clear intention. I want to understand why I don't enjoy anything. I want to understand why I don't feel good about the things I have. I want to understand why is this the way I'm experiencing things? You know, that's the intention. That's the clear vision. The mission statement. I want to understand this so that I can move into the place where I do enjoy things, where I can feel those feelings, where I can acknowledge what I have and experience my life in a way that, you know, everybody wants this. Like, this is where everybody's trying to get. So that can be one of the things that is standing in the way. I really meant to say that on the last video. I'll link to that video just in case it's years later or something. And I have 7,000 videos on this channel. I really wish I would have said that, because that's where a lot of people are going to be stuck. And, you know, I was saying on the Science of Getting Rich audio series that I just made, I'll link that below. You know, the manifestation process is very simple. Have a clear vision, have an understanding, know what you want. Bottom line, know what you want. Don't just know what you want, intend to actually have it. That's a feeling. Intend to have it. You're bringing this into existence. This is coming into existence. I'm not just dreaming about it. Have the faith that it will happen. If you have faith in God, or you have faith in yourself, or you just have faith, period, just know that it will happen. Just believe that it will happen. Believe in the process, really. And then the fourth step is gratitude. Appreciate the feeling like it's already here. Have the feeling of happiness that it's already here. It's a very simple process until you can't do one of those things. And you just can't fucking do it. And I'm sorry nobody wants to talk about this, but this is what happens. I've experienced it firsthand. I created all this shit, and then I get to the point where the relationship area of my life is still not happening. Why can't I just believe that I'm going to get this? Why can't I just believe I'm going to get this? Why does this feel so important? Why does this feel larger than life? You know, I have firsthand experience with hitting these roadblocks in one area while just being wildly successful in a bunch of other areas, just using this simple process. You know, you will know when you have work to do. So if you hit the gratitude part of this, the enjoyment part, the part where you actually experience happiness and peace, and you just can't do it, you're gonna know that there's something to do there. And I hope that this maybe just sparks something, because I don't have all the answers for how to fix every problem, obviously. I'm pretty good at fixing my own problems, and I'm pretty good at, I think, being not full of shit and talking about them. But this is one area where, you know, I think I'm all right in. I don't feel like I have a big problem enjoying the things I already have. In fact, I think I actually enjoy the things I have a lot more than other people do. And that's the reason why, if you looked at my life from the outside and you saw the amount of money I have in my bank accounts and the amount of income I have, you might say, you know, why are you driving a $20,000 car? Why do you live in an 1,100 square foot house? Although, to be honest with you, I really want to move to a bigger house. But I mean, when you know, if you can't enjoy the things you have, if you're not already enjoying the things you have, you'll just move on to bigger and bigger things, thinking that you're going to get enjoyment eventually when you get some bigger thing. If you're not enjoying the things that you have right now, if you're not feeling any happiness right now, looking around at your abundant life, but your life is almost certainly incredibly abundant, almost no matter who you are today. Compare yourself to somebody 100 years ago. Compare yourself to the richest person in the world 100 years ago, who had to watch their child get polio and decline and die. That no amount of money could prevent that from happening. The poorest person alive right now is richer than that. You know, if you can't take any pleasure in anything, it's not just because you're a bad person. It's not just because there's something wrong with you at your core. It's not like you just came out unable to do that. There's almost certainly something in there that is causing that. And the way you know it's there is because you're hitting this roadblock. I can't feel gratitude. I can't feel acknowledgement for the things that I have in a feeling, you know, I can't feel happy about the things I have. I can't enjoy the things I have. I have a feeling that that's going to reach a lot of people out there. I personally know people that have this issue. It's like my favorite thing to throw my ex under the bus on this channel, apparently. Everybody loved the Hammock session video that we did. I linked that a few videos ago. I'll link to it below. My ex is awesome. And we own a business together, and we're still great friends and everything. And one thing that I've noticed this about him, he takes pleasure in things. He does take pleasure in things, but he has this tendency to just deny himself things. And, you know, knowing him really well, he immigrated here from Ukraine in the early 80s with his family. And that type of upbringing, and like knowing his parents, and, you know, his mother was very stoic, and she had to be, you know, I know her history. She, after she died, my ex had a box of her papers and stuff. And I was looking through this box, and I came across this paper that she wrote for a college class that she took once she was here. She became an accountant, and she had to go to school for that, obviously. And an English class or something she had to take. She had to write this paper. And the paper she wrote was just describing her life after my ex was already born, and she was pregnant with his younger sister, who's my age. So she had like basically a 4-year-old, and she was pregnant with another kid. And she was just describing what life was like in terms of basic survival. And I could not believe the way these people that I knew, this person that I had a romantic relationship with for 7 years at that point, this person with whom I was sharing this typical American life, whose parents had come to America, made good, worked hard, got all this stuff, you know. I was like, holy shit, like this is how these people were living 25 years ago. No wonder he's the way he is. No wonder, you know what? I'm going to do another Hammock session with my ex about this topic. He said he would do it, and I was like, I don't know what we would talk about. I want to talk about this exact topic. Your early childhood experience, and who your parents are, and what they had to go through, and where they're coming from, and all of that, their disappointments in life, that's going to influence everything about you and how you experience the world. And if you grew up in an environment with parents that were like, don't get too excited about this, or don't, you know, if all of the happy emotions that you could have about things were maybe for a very good reason, even suppressed when you were forming, you might find it very difficult to experience a lot of these things. So if you're having trouble with that, if this is a roadblock for you, you know, if you can identify that, then you can start to intend to have the experiences that will bring you into conscious awareness of where they came from. And you can intend to have ways to, you know, to work it out, to get to the point where you experience life in a different way. I just did this myself over the last few years with one of my central things having to do with myself, my sense of self-worth being based on the outer, the relationship I have with substances that were affecting that. I just went through this whole thing. I can tell you, I can attest to this. If you have the clear intention, you really intend to unravel all of it. You really intend to get to the point where it is no longer blocking you from experiencing your life in the most ideal way. If you intend for that, you clarify that you want that, you intend for it, and you interpret everything in your life after that as happening for that, you will experience it. You will get to the other side of it. My life since, I view April 24th of this year, it's June 7th. April 24th was sort of the graduation point for me with this big thing. I have experienced my life completely differently since then. In ways I'm probably not even aware of yet. because it's just so close to sort of, you know, like when I can look back on other things like that have happened, I just go, holy shit, it was like before and after that day, before and after this event that happened, that sort of was the punctuation mark on that whole phase of my life. There's other things like that I can look at with distance now and talk about it and tell you what's happened since then. I'm too close to the last thing, but I can tell you already, it is just a totally different experience. And that is the type of thing that you can manifest. I guess that's kind of like what you do after you get the stuff. You hit a roadblock and you start knocking down all these mental things that are preventing you from being happy, which is all anybody really wants, you know? Happiness for you, happiness for everyone, happiness for the people you love. So, I guess that's pretty much it for that. I will see if my ex is willing to talk about this topic. It would be interesting to talk to him about this, since I think he could probably speak to it. And who knows, maybe exploring it, he'll come upon some little tidbit for himself. Because this has always been something with him that has been kind of tragic to me. It's like, we have all of this. We have all of this stuff. And I still feel like he's gone through depressions and stuff like that really make me sad. That it's like, how can you be depressed when you have so much? And I think a lot of it is just sort of a repressed ability to actually happily enjoy the things that are already here. You know, through no fault of his own, really. Just a lot of this stuff just kind of happens. There's no need to blame anyone. There's no need to be mad at your parents or anything like that, or anybody who helped you to, helpfully helped you to end up in this maybe undesirable state. But anyway, that's it. Have a great day.